Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So, starting a new show tonight, Thursday night. This will be another new bi-weekly show replacing Ranking the Songs. This is called Hidden Gems. So, Hidden Gems is basically just going to be about those albums that we all like, or most of us like, anyways, that just whenever they're talking about albums by certain bands or this just album doesn't get mentioned much. And tonight we're going to mention this album. And this is Script for Jester's Tear, Marillion's first album. Get a good look at it. A nice cover on it. This was my first Marillion album. And I will confess, at this point in time when this album came out, back in 1983, I had long given up on progressive rock as being something in the past, and I wouldn't be able to go back there, and there would be nothing new ever coming. That was my thought process. And my friend says, "Oh no, you got to check these guys out. You got to check these guys out. They're a British progressive rock band that just came out. This is their debut album." I said, "Really? Why would anybody want to do progressive rock in 1983? It's been dead for 5 or 6 years or maybe even longer." He says, "Oh, I'm telling you, man, you'll like it. You'll like it." So I took it, and my first impact was, my God, it's Genesis reincarnated. But upon listening to it, I began to realize that this is a better production, better sound than a lot of those old Genesis. It's something new and fresh. Yes, it had that Genesis sound. I thought the vocalist, I don't think he sounded like Peter Gabriel, but he had his own style. And it was intriguing to me. So I listened to the tracks on here, and there's 6 of them. Now, when I originally owned this album, it was in vinyl. I bought this off the shelf in vinyl. I let my friend talk me into it. There were 6 tracks on it. And I thought, this is really good. But I never went on further. I never went and got any of the other albums. I stopped following progressive rock and continued on my journey, saying, well, it's one album out of 100 million, and it'll probably not turn the tides. And I was wrong. But absolutely killer album. My favorite track on here is probably Forgotten Sons, the last track. Really good track. Just like everything you would want in a progressive rock song. Lots of keyboards. The vocals were great. The lyrics were conceptually deep and philosophical. The guy's voice was fantastic. I loved it. I know people knock his voice now, but back then I thought he was perfect for the album. The album cover, of course, was great. So I love that song. The other songs, like the hits, Garden Party and He Knows You Know, hits relatively they got on the charts. He Knows You Know, it's kind of a strong, bitey song. Very different than a lot of progressive rock songs, but I like it a lot. Garden Party is a little bit more softened, a little bit more commercial sounding, but has an excellent chorus, has an excellent feel. It's an attractive song. It's upbeat, it's up-tempo. And the lyrics, of course, like it is on all the songs on this album, are very in-depth and strong. I think for me, the reason I think this album is a bit of a hidden gem is because it doesn't get the kind of talk that Childhood's End or Clutching at Straws get. Both those albums get a lot more talking about and are often ranked as people's favorite early Marillion albums. Brave, of course, from the later Marillion, the Hogarth era, gets a lot of talk, and some other albums there too. This one doesn't get as much notice, I don't think, yet it's just as good, in some ways better than some of those albums too. It's got a very progressive sound to it for that time period. It's unbelievable that they could put something out right in the middle of that new wave and poppy stuff going on all over the place. But the album did relatively good when it came out. I think it was 31 weeks, or at least I think maybe it was the single that was 31 weeks on the UK charts. So it did pretty reasonably well. It surprised me, actually. I didn't think it would have done as well as it did. Then I got this also on cassette, when I moved out, I had that cassette. So the album was still there for me until I got rid of my cassettes and started replacing them with CDs. And then I never listened to my cassettes much anymore, mostly because I didn't have a cassette player anymore. So the album kind of went into obscurity. But I think it's a fantastic album, showing all the elements about why I thought Marillion is probably my favorite of those new wave of British progressive rock that came out in the 80s. There's a whole whack of them. This was just the first of them. It's probably still my favorite band as far as that era goes, although it's being challenged greatly by IQ and some other bands coming up as well. But I still like those first 4 Marillion albums, and this one I think is the underrated hidden gem of the bunch. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this inaugural episode of Hidden Gems featuring Marillion's Script for a Jester's Tear. And please hit the like and subscribe if you want to leave your own comments about this album or about anything I've said. Put that in the comment section below, and I'm going to upload this as soon as I'm done. So have yourself a good evening and take care and goodbye.